What's up guys, Learning with Rich here. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to create curtain walls and curtain grids and mullions. So this is our model. We are going to modify this area here. So if I'm gonna select the 3D view, so this is how it looks like. Okay, with this door here. So we're gonna modify this area. So what we would like is I want that to be converted to be like this one. Okay, so we're going to convert that to a curtain wall and with a curtain wall type of door. Okay, so let me just close this one. Okay, so let's do this. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to edit this wall here. So to do that, so let me go to the modify and then I'll be using here split element. So let's click that one. And then after that, I'm going to zoom into this corner here. So I'm going to make sure the delete inner segment here is unchecked, or make sure that one is clear. And then you can pick this. And then let's say I'm going to put this like 150. So that will going to be the distance. So same with the other side here. So I'm going to click this wall to split and then change the distance to 150. And there you go. Then I'll just select here modify. Okay. So it's now split. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change this wall to a curtain wall. So I'm going to select this wall here. And then from the properties, type selector. So I'll be selecting here curtain wall 1 to change it. Okay, so once you change it, automatically the door will get destroyed or disappeared. Okay, because you already changed your wall to a curtain wall. So you need to have a curtain wall type of door here, not the ordinary door like this. Okay, so checking that in 3D view, so this is how it looks like. All right, so what I'm gonna do is let me just change the property of this panel here. So I'm going to select, this one, when you click, it's selecting the curtain wall, but what I really want to do is I want to select the curtain panel. Okay, so not this curtain wall. So how to select the curtain panel? So to do that, just hover your pointer until it highlights the curtain wall and then just press tab. Do not hold the tab. Just press tab, tab again. And then as you can see, it will now highlight the curtain panel. So you can click that and then you can modify your curtain panel. So as you can see, you just selected the curtain panel. Okay, so I'm going to edit that. So let's say I just want to change the color. So I'm going to change the material here, glazing. I'm going to click the ellipsis button to show the material browser. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate this. So right click and then let's use duplicate material and assets. Don't use the duplicate using shared assets. So we use this one so that we can customize our duplicate without editing the original. Okay, so this is actually a new feature in Revit 2023. Okay, so let me just change the name. I'll just put blue there. And then I'll click that, go to the graphics. I'm going to change here the color. So let's change that to something bluish. Okay, so blue, I'll just change it to something like bluish and then okay, and there you go. So I'll just select your okay, right? So it's now changed. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go back to ground floor and then here from the architecture tab, I will be using curtain grid. Okay, so let's use curtain grid. So it creates a grid line in a curtain wall or curtain system. So let's click this and then you have 3 options here. So you have all segments, one segment, all except picked. Okay, for this one, I'm going to use all segments. Okay, so let's use all segment and then I'm going to move my pointer here and then I'm going to make this like 700. So I'm going to pick and then next is I'm going to create here 800. Okay, same to the other side. So 700 and 800 like that. And then after that, select modify. So in 3D view, if you're going to check that one, as you can see, there's now your curtain grid. So it slices our curtain panel. Okay, so now the next thing that we will be doing, what I want is I want to create a horizontal curtain grid. Okay, so we cannot do that here on the floor plan, so that's why we are going to open our elevation view. So let me open south elevation, and then I'm gonna zoom in here. So maybe I'm gonna change the visual style to shaded view so I can see the color. Okay, now let's go back again to architecture. Let's select the curtain grid. Make sure all segments is selected, and then this time, instead of creating vertical, so I'm going to move my pointer to the side here to create a horizontal. So if you want to create a vertical curtain grid, so you need to move your pointer there to the horizontal area. So if you want to create a horizontal curtain grid, so you need to hover your pointer to the vertical area there. Okay, so I'm going to pick here, and then I'm going to pick another point here, and then I'll just select modify. Okay, so I'm going to change the distance of this curtain grid. So I'm going to click this curtain grid here. And then there's a temporary dimension that appears. So I'm going to change the height to, let's say, 2175. So that's the height for the wall for me, for example. And then I'm going to click this, the second horizontal, the higher curtain grid, horizontal curtain grid. And then I'm going to change here. Let's say 2250, enter. That's it. And then I'll just select here, modify. Okay, now the next thing that I'm gonna do here is I want to create another curtain grid, but I do not want to create a curtain grid to this area here. So what I want is I want to create a curtain grid at the middle, but only up to this curtain grid only, like from this point up to this point. Now, for me to be able to do that, I'm going to select the curtain grid again, but this time, I will be using all except picked. Okay, so it places a grid segment on all panels except those you select to exclude. Okay, so I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to click the vertical here, or I'm going to create a vertical one. So I'm going to place that, and then look at the status bar. This time, pick on segments to exclude. So I want to exclude this one. So I'm going to pick this area here, pick that, and then as you can see, it will becomes broken line. So once you select your modify to terminate the curtain grid, so it will now create your curtain grid without this area here that you have excluded. Okay? Right, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is, let's say I want to change the material of these panels here, this area here, this middle area. So for me to be able to do that, I need to select it. So I'm going to select first these walls here because accidentally I'm selecting these walls here when I create a window selection. That's why I'm going to select this wall, hold control, and then click the wall. And then I'm gonna right click, and then I'm gonna hide it, hide in view, elements. Okay, and then I'm gonna make sure that all of these selection options here are turned off. Okay, now I'm going to pick from this point and then do a window selection like that, and then I'm going to filter that because I only want to select the panels. So I'm gonna uncheck the curtain wall grids, making sure that only curtain panels is selected, and then I'll just select here OK. Now that I have selected these panels, I'm going to change that type to, let me go to edit type, and let me duplicate this. Okay, I do not want to override my system panel type here, so I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to change this to different name. Okay, so let's say this will going to be my span drill panel, then okay, and then I'm gonna change the type. So let's click the ellipsis button, and then I'll just use this one, the original one, and then I'll just select OK, and then OK, and then click outside, and there you go. So it's now different color. Okay, so now the next thing that we will be doing is we're going to add a door here to this panel. Okay, so just make sure you already loaded a curtain wall type of door inside your project. So if you haven't, so you just need to go to the insert and then load family and then go to your project folder. Okay, so in this one, do I have a door here? This one. So this is a curtain panel type of door. Okay, so you can select this and then just open it. In my project, it's already loaded. But let's say, for example, I want to load a new one. Let's say this one. Door glass, double glass 2. So I'll just select open. So it will now be loaded inside this project. So once you load it inside your project, the next thing that you need to do, you need to select this panel here because this is where you want to put the door. Okay, so for you to be able to select this easily, this face here, so you can check or activate your select elements by face. So click that one to turn on and then hover your pointer. As you can see, it highlights now the face. Now this is the face that we want to select this panel here. So I'm going to hover my pointer again to that face. As you can see, it highlights this whole face here, but this is the only one I want. So hover and then press tab. Now it highlights the curtain panel. So once it highlights, you can now click that. So click. There you go. So it's now selected. So again, I'm going to click outside. Make sure that select elements by face is selected. So you hover your pointer to highlight this whole face here. Now to select this panel here, just press tab once. Once you see it highlights, you click it. But if you didn't see that this panel is highlighted, press again the tab continuously until it highlights that panel. So once it highlights like that in colored green, so you can now click that and then go to the type selector and then select the door that you would like. So let's say the double glass 2. So you click that. There you go. So it's now loaded. So let's check that one out in 3D view. So this is how it looks like. Okay. You cannot just simply go to your floor plan and then architecture and then select door here. So you can't do that because this one is a curtain wall. So that door, this door too, you can only put that on the wall like this, right? On the normal wall. But if it is a curtain wall, can't do that. Okay, so you need to load it. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna do here is going back to my south elevation. I'm going to convert these curtain grids that we have created to a curtain mullion or to a mullion. Okay, so how to do that? So let's create a mullion. So let's go to architecture, build. So you can select your mullion. So click that. And then you can see here, so you have placements type. So you have grid line segment, and all grid lines. I can actually select all grid lines here and then hover my pointer. It will create a mullion to all the grid lines. But the problem is I do not want to create a mullion here to this area here and also this area here. That's why instead, I'm just going to select here grid line. Okay, so let's click grid line. I want to convert this curtain grid to mullion. This is the type 50 by 150. So let's click that. Okay, as you can see, our grid lines now is being converted to a mullion. Okay, so let's click that and then click that. Now for this area here, I'm going to select edit type to create a new type. So duplicate this and then change the name because we are going to create a new type. So I'm going to make it 150 by 150 and then I'll select here. Okay. And then for the width on side 2 and width on side 1, so let us just make that like 75. Okay. So 75 and then I'll just select here. Okay. All right. And then let's use again our grid lines. Okay, so I'm gonna... Nope, it's grid line segment this time. Because if you select grid lines, it will select all the grid line. But you only want by segment. So grid line segment. So you can now pick here. There you go. There you go. There you go. And there you go. Right? And then after that, just select your modify. So in 3D view, so this is now how it looks like. There you go. Okay, so you just created your curtain wall, curtain grids, mullions, and then you even inserted here a door that is curtain wall type. Okay, so that's it for this simple exercise. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, just put it on the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.